Got it. Thank you. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome again to Embodying the Archetypes, our sovereign circles. And yeah, lovely to have you back. Lovely to be here with you. Always look forward to this time and this space for some embodiment work and some archetypes. I find it really brings me home to myself. So it's really useful, and it's lovely if we are serving and supporting you too. So our usual introduction, which you three must be very familiar with by now, but we continue to share because the sessions are recorded and we do put them on YouTube, and we may have people listening there. So we want to share the principles of how we're working in our core values each time. We're very simple foundation to our work here, basically, that everyone is responsible for themselves, that we are fully self-responsible adult beings in the world. And so your body is your responsibility. So what we set up to explore is a framework, is guidance. And while there may be a stretch in that, so I don't advise, don't do it just because you don't feel like it. But don't do it if it does feel like it's wrong for your body or your consciousness or your well-being today. So for example, if you check in and you feel like you're very low on the well-being level scale, it might not be a day for doing much self-development work. You might want to just go and nurture yourself a little bit first, but please make your own calls on that. Similarly, if you have any injuries, adapt the movements to work with you. And also
do a check-in. Do you want to do a check-in then and see?
Yeah, so let's see where is everybody at today. So if you're in energy and emotion, are you kind of at the bottom of the screen, or are you easing up towards the top? Are you kind of in the middle? So we've got quite, yeah, I'm middling, we've got lowering, we've got hiring, bit all over the shop today. So do take it gently, be loving and kind with yourself if you're finding today a bit of a struggle. Give it full welly of your way up here and see how far you can take yourself. Enjoy the ride. Also, we ask that you hold information you gather here in confidence, particularly information about other people on the call with you, obviously within the limitations of that being recorded. But also do feel free to share what we share, the work we share. We are very happy for you to talk about that with other people. So today, also our sessions are by donation. And David, do you have a link available? Sorry, I didn't check that. So in the chat, there's a link for payments, and in somewhere around where the video is, there'll be a link for voluntary donations. If you're ever in a position to do that, we are always delighted. But it is not an expectation either. We love to offer this time for people. So today we are going to keep exploring. It's lovely having you three on for some continuity with what we've been exploring with space and with letting go, because we want to consolidate that with some embodiment practice using the archetypes to help give you an ongoing sense of the space that you can create in your own consciousness, in your own body. And then we're going to keep developing this idea in the coming weeks about how we can then use that space. But today we wanted to consolidate what we did last week of exploring the archetypes and of how they can each be used to create, to let things go in different ways. And David has created a little a movement pattern to a form that he's going to teach you, that could give you an opportunity, if you give it some regular time, to keep the exploration of letting go going in your body as a regular practice. So I'm going to pass over to David and he'll go through it with you, and then at the end we can maybe debrief what you experienced of it and how you can develop it further. Over to you, David.
Thank you, Thea, and welcome everybody. Hello. Thank you. So we're going to do this in 2 phases or 2 stages. The first one is I'm going to take you through this little sequence. If you remember when we debriefed last week, I said that I'd kind of come up with something spontaneous. So I thought I'd share it because it's nice to have a little practice of something to follow for yourself. And then after a little bit of a debrief, we might give you the opportunity, if you want it, to maybe come up with something for yourself. So that invitation is there. So we'll see how we go. So if you would like to come and stand with me, of course, you're free to remain seated if you prefer. So we're going to start with sovereign, and then we're going to move through a nice circle from sovereign to magician, back to sovereign and lover and warrior, and then start again. So we're going to go in a nice circle or a nice cycle. So beginning with simply connecting in with our sovereign embodiment. So feeling our feet on the floor, and if you're seated, feeling your bum on the seat and your feet on the floor as well. Relaxing the feet and relaxing the legs as your attention moves up your legs towards your pelvis. Relaxing your pelvis as well so that you can create this lovely, relaxed and solid foundation, stable foundation. Moving up to the belly and the lower back, and then the chest and the upper back. Continuing to relax. And the shoulders and the arms, so that the shoulders hang off your spine and your arms can hang down by your side or rest in your lap. And the head balanced on top of the spine. Making any corrections for alignment so that you feel very upright and you feel stable through your skeleton. And then one final pass through the body from top to bottom for relaxation, starting around the forehead and the eyes. Relaxing the throat and the chest, the belly and the pelvis. Relaxing down into the floor. And bringing to mind something that you want to let go of, that you'd like to let go of, and we're going to explore 4 ways in which that we can do that. So with that idea in mind of letting go, our first movement is to bring our weight up from the floor, so we come up onto our tiptoes a little bit and allow the arms to rise up towards the ceiling, looking up. As if you were a plant or a tree in the wind, and the wind was just taking your pollen or your leaves off you. So there's this feeling of release and letting go. Almost like a passive release, up and out. And then slowly dropping the heels and bringing the arms down, creating like a shape, like a circle. And as the arms lower, bringing the body down towards the floor, letting go as sovereign. Maybe releasing or putting something down onto the floor so that you can let it go that way. And then from here, as lover, maybe putting something down or releasing it into the water so that it dissolves. So you could do some nice flowy movement as if you were stirring something in the water. And then as you come up towards the upright, slowly bending the legs and maybe shaking the hands softly or maybe more vigorously, as if you're trying to get the water off your fingers. So there's this sense of being more active in your letting go. And then bringing the body to stillness as we return to sovereign. So that's the cycle. Maybe it's the same thing you want to think about letting go. Maybe it's something different. But starting with magician, coming up onto the balls of the feet and lifting the arms. A more passive release and letting go. Bringing the arms down slowly. And from that sovereign place, dropping down as if you're going to place something on the floor. Maybe playing around with where you place it on the floor. Moving into lover as you place it in the water. Move the arms in whatever spontaneous, fluid, creative motion that you would like, as if dissolving what you're letting go of in the water. And then bending the legs and letting the back come up and straighten, shaking the hands off, maybe down, maybe out in front of you, maybe down to by the sides, and returning to sovereign. Repeat this a couple more times with less and less words from me so that you can focus inward. Picking the thing you're letting go of, rising towards a magician, passive release. Bring the arms down to sovereign and letting something and placing it down on the floor. Lover, dissolving and mixing what you're letting go of in water. And then bending the legs to warrior, shaking the hands, a more active release. One final time together. Raising the body and lifting the arms. Lowering the arms to sovereign. And putting down. Lover dissolving in water as you mix, merge and allow the water to take it away. And coming slowly up to warrior, shaking the arms. And return to sovereign. One final time on your own. Starting with warrior, magician. Lowering the arms slowly to sovereign, creating space and shape. Lowering yourself down to put on the floor and sovereign. Releasing and dissolving in water. Blowing the arms. And coming up slowly to warrior. Shaking the hands off. Giving yourself release. And returning to sovereign just for a moment. Checking in. Feeling how you are different now, if at all, with your letting go. Perhaps noticing what space you have inside of you now that you have let something go, if you have. and maybe what the shape of that space is, where it is in yourself. And then taking a moment to shake that off and come back to the screen, giving people an opportunity to feed back and share if they'd like. If anyone would like to either share in the chat or to volunteer to unmute yourself and share your experience.
I would like to share, and if I may, something significant, which was the impact of the last week. And I don't know, is there a space to share the impact?
Mm-hmm.
And as well, another thing to name, I'm doing different things with different people, embodiment and other, and I'm noticing how the work overspills from here to other places. So maybe just to share about today, I had a coaching session that was identifying my guard. Like if I go to the meeting with agenda, I have a guard and I don't allow any magic in. I have agenda. And now I was letting go of guard. I want to be pure in conversations. And what happened last week with 4 archetypes, and now I lost it. I think I'm just excited to share. Yes, I realized when I get into warrior, that's my decades of groove. If I get to warrior, I get locked there. I don't know how to get out. And all these other 3 are new states for me. So it showed me clearly what going on, you know, something I couldn't see before. And that happened in another coaching session where we're doing some movement. And yeah, so it's really beautiful how it all just like connects everywhere. So thank you.
Yeah, what a wonderful share. Thank you. Thank you. And I really love that that share, because it really speaks to what embodiment can be, or how it can serve, in this sense of we can get very narrow in our behavior and our patterns and our habits and what is available to us. And so by introducing new concepts or new patterns, like new archetypes, we begin to broaden our range, and it gives us much more choice. And there's this process, it sounds like you're going through this transition of discovering how sovereign and lover and magician can feel more familiar to you over time. So that's really beautiful. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank
and
you.
just to name that, actually giving it name is what was new. Like I was doing other things, but I didn't name them and I couldn't see them. And now as we gave them names, they're more accessible. And I felt like adding that. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Yes, yes. Naming, really, really important. Thank you.
Could I just want to add something there that's, Sonia, it's really beautiful to hear you say that, because I work a lot, just the really probably the core of my work is working with wholeness, like the idea that as human beings, we're whole, our body, our being, our consciousness, our spirit, our energy, we have everything we need within us. All our bad behaviors, all the things we want to lose, they're also part of that wholeness. And the more we own them, and the more powerful with them that we can be. And what I found with the archetypes, because that as an idea can be a little bit kind of difficult to hold on to. And I find the archetypes give me a really good, solid way of naming aspects of my wholeness. So it's really lovely to hear you say that. Giving things a name makes you go, oh, okay, yeah, warrior, I can be a warrior as long as you want me to, but like lover is a stretch, or magician is a stretch. And I have a similar relationship with it, of really appreciating them as kind of solid, nameable aspects of my wholeness.
Anyone else like to share?
Just say something small or not, or large. Love that. Was such a lovely experience. And Sonia, thank you so much. And Thea, I loved what you both had to say, how clear it was. And David, what an amazing exercise that was. And the repetition was brilliant. And I've just been discovering how much you were talking about everything being in the body and how we can shift things through our movement and so on. And I'm just experiencing how important that is for me at the moment, because I'm in part of my life very, very, very deeply stuck. It's quite a serious thing, except that I can't get into it too much. So it's not as serious as it could be, but I'm stuck, and it's in a procrastination about a particular thing, and it affects everything. But the only way that I'm finding I'm able to shift is through my body, through movement, through play sometimes. And even in the process of having to write and do paperwork, I'm finding a way that is not sitting really grinding, holding it on the shoulders, but like taking post-it notes and writing things and shifting them about the place. So that, I mean, it's just really beautiful. And I had a lovely experience before I came on today with another program and a person you probably know doing a meditation that astounded me. So it's just because it was very much, again, embodying, and it was very much embodying the archetypes, and it was lovely. So thank you.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Greta, only if you feel that you'd like to, but don't feel like you have to.
Yeah, actually, I had some quite big thing that happened last night, which was something I've been, thinking about and really have a hard time to let go of. And while I was doing these things, it got out of my head, so I didn't have any thoughts about it, and not very big feelings either. So something happened. So that was great.
Great, lovely.
Great, lovely.
I'm hearing an echo. Thank you, Greta. Yes, there is something, isn't there, powerful about repetition and physical practice. And I just want to get a sense, because we haven't got much time, but would it be helpful for you to explore your own sequence? Would that be something that you'd like time to do now, or just as a vote? Just a thumbs up if it's a yes and thumbs down if it's a no. Doesn't really feel
Just as a possibility, it might be to just adjust it slightly. So for example, doing David's, I realized for me, lover isn't down in the river. Lover's more upright. So I added lover coming up because it felt much more in tune with my relationship with lover. So it might be doing it and just making some small adjustments that make it like mean a bit more to you and your body. And maybe just to push the edges a little bit to make it work for yourself.
Before we start, can I just add something to what I said? And it was something about what you were saying about being authentic, Thea, about it, owning everything, who we are. And because I recognize that the stuckness that I have, there's a lot of fear there, and there's a lot of I'm not good enough in it. And it's a wonderful way to release, because I don't want it. So I'm looking forward to doing this now. Thank you.
So by Greta, I know you have to go. So again, it looks like with time, the opportunity would be for you to do it in your own time, but feel free to feedback with us. So as we draw to a close, I do invite you to just take a moment to feel your bum on the seat and your feet on the floor, and to bring that sovereign embodiment back into your awareness. Feeling your sit bones on the seat and feeling your uprightness through your spine and your dignity. And perhaps noticing the shape of the space that this letting go has made available to you. Or maybe being aware of the shape of what you've been letting go of. And maybe to write in the chat in no more than 3 words, some ways to describe that space that's left inside of you, or the shape of the thing that you were letting go of. Hyphenated phrases are also allowed. Release, expansive, renewable. Ocean of connection in the heart space. Lovely. Knight's shield, letting go of guard. Yes. Lovely. And for me, I have like a fire and a warmth in that space that's welcoming in, you know, like fire pulling in air. So it feels like it gives it space, which is great. So thank you, everybody. And with 2 minutes to go, as you go into your week with this space inside of you, what are you grateful for as part of that space that you feel in yourself? Again, just please write in the chat, what does this space allow for gratitude? What would you say? For me, it's excitement and curiosity. Possibility of moment and joy, space for deeper emotions, my training, the magic of life. Yeah, lovely. Lovely. So thank you very much. Bye, Greta. And again, if we can unmute ourselves and say goodbye, then I can end the recording. Thank you very much, everybody, for taking part, even those of you on the recording.
Good to see you. Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye.